Haven't really spoken with.
Yes, Shiva, yes. You are the one that like to play games and do difficult questions, you know? What do you have for today?
Is it like, have I put in an impression to you, like, who gives like difficult questions and like playing games?
No, it's I'm kidding.
No, no,
Yes,
you were
because
you
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 like
you were not kidding. You were actually like right. So I'll be very like, though you were kidding, but it's kind of actually right. I mean, I feel so because I think, I mean,
but
Joe.
I like it.
Yeah, I see.
I like it. And
Yeah, please
it's
continue.
more interesting.
I mean, yes, you see,
Otherwise the conversation is boring. It's always the same, repeating the same things over and over again.
completely boring. I'll tell you, completely boring. I mean, like, I'll be very honest. Like, before me coming onto episode, I actually take up like 5 minutes. I sit around like alone, and I was like, what to talk about today with people? Not with such a pressure, but in general, because see, it also push up my limits to open up a certain person or like to know more about that person. And you wouldn't believe I don't come up with highly intellect questions, but it's interesting that in my within my mind, within my heart, the question comes more like what is the other person's favorite book, or
Hmm.
when was the first time that person, what was the the toughest punishment he or she had in their school time. So I get questions like this within
Hmm.
my mind, and honestly speaking,
Yes.
I have never been asked these questions by anybody in my entire life. I have spoken with so many people, from all these within the internet and outside. But what I realized, asking these questions had made me build deep connection within the person. Doesn't really matter where the person is coming
Hmm.
from. So I think, yeah,
Yes,
that's
because you go, uh, not you, but both of you and your partner go beyond the easy talk, no, the daily conversation that people has normally. As you are in a bus stop,
right.
and this kind of conversation drive nowhere.
Exactly, exactly. And recently, I don't know, like, but I've got my interest in talking more about like hosts. I don't know why, but it's just kind of a very
Ghost,
random. Yeah, but I really
go.
love like talking about ghost stories and everything.
I also like I love ghost stories. You know that I have books about this.
Seriously. And I have been,
Yes,
I've been
and I
trying to,
listen to podcasts about this.
I have been, and I've been wasting up my time speaking with these other kids, like mostly of my age. But I feel like, when it
I
comes
don't
to,
know. I don't know if you know these collection here. I will show you. If you like, you will like this. You are going to like this.
all right.
Eh, it's a collection of radio mystery theater. It's a lot of episodes here.
Right, I see there. That's interesting,
You can you can look at the I think Google Store,
I mean, by speaking to this, I
but
mean,
it's for free. It's for free
that's interesting. I mean, I'll tell you, I myself is like more of a,
because I am a fan. I am a fan of radio. You know, I love
yeah,
radio,
you come from that
and I love
era.
ghost stories, mystery, and this is full of episodes of radio
Right.
theater
Exactly, exactly.
of ghost stories. Is wonderful. It's so full that you, I don't know, spend 6 months to listen to all of this.
Interesting. I mean,
It's well, very, very well done.
I mean, without talking much, I mean, like, if you have any of your favorite ghost stories, or probably, if you ever had an experience in like real life, or had heard
I
by
have uh,
somebody.
I have one really, really good ghost story that I love. That
Like,
is Christmas Carol from Charles Dickens. For me, it's
all right,
wonderful.
all
I
right,
listen. I listened to them. I think more than 100 times
go ahead,
because I
please.
have
I
the
would love to
audiobook.
hear it. I mean, if you can, like,
You don't know. You don't know Christmas Carol.
I don't, because I'll tell you, when it comes to me having a
No,
certain.
I will not tell you because you need to see this. This is wonderful.
All right,
Mm. I am a fan of him.
all right.
You must find this.
Charles, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. All right, I'll give it a shot.
Charles
And
Dickens was a genius, a writer in
right,
the 18th century
yeah, I see here
in
in
the
the 80s.
Victorian era in England.
That's interesting. But when it comes to me, or like my specific interest, in terms of like the ghost stories and things like that. So for me, I'm more of stories, like more of like true stories based on like true
Yeah,
events.
yeah.
So more of like that. And within my family there have been a lot of events, like and within the relatives, I have never personally experienced any kind of ghost presence, honestly speaking, or like if I had one, it never felt like it was very negative or dangerous to be considered as like more of a feeling a presence of ghost. But I mean, if you have any, or you personally experienced out of like like these
I had
books.
I had a personal experience about this once.
Okay,
Not once, but one that is it was remarkable for me. It's in my mind till today. It
right,
was many years ago when I was very young,
right,
because I lived in a place uh, alone, but this place was a school, a music
mm-hmm,
school,
mm-hmm,
you know, and I worked there. So I
right,
worked and lived there.
right,
And one day I was at night going out with the owner of the school to
right,
go to some place.
okay,
And when we were at the street, he told me, "Oh man, I forgot something
right,
in the school." And I said to him, "No, no worry. I will go back and
mm-hmm,
I will get it." Oof! I climbed the steps,
right,
opened the door because I had the key, opened the door, closed the door, and went to another room. When I tried to open this another room, I
mm-hmm,
couldn't. But this room had no
logs,
key, no lock, no key,
right, right,
nothing. And I forced and forced and forced and nothing. I
right.
was about to give up, and suddenly the door opened.
That chills
He
me up.
entered
That chills me up.
because he was. We were going to I don't know if I a spirit section in somewhere because this guy was kind
Mm-hmm.
of spiritual
Right,
man.
right.
And that day, nobody can explain what happened because it was impossible that door didn't open.
Right, right. I mean, it was a very of your personal experience. I mean, obviously, nobody was around you to actually witness it, and then
No, no.
few people would believe it, few people would not. But I will believe it because I come, like, so I'll tell you. I mean, it was, I have lots of ghost stories, and trust me, that can actually chill down the listener. But my mom's, like my grandpa, okay, and in India these things are like very common. Okay, if you know a bit about the Indian history or like the culture, so in India these are like very common. And my grandpa was into these kind of activities, okay, these kind of
Mm,
so what he used to do is like he was more of like a priest, is what you can say. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And he used to help people who he used to help the families who used to deal with these kind of negative energies or like got caught up with these kind of negative energies in the village. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And what often happens within this culture is like whatever I know, like, okay, whatever I have learned all
mm,
these years in my life, by the time I'll get old like you, I will give all my knowledge to somebody like a younger one. Okay. Because that
mm,
knowledge has to be passed on with time, with generational wise. So like my grandpa had only two daughters, like my mom and my aunt. Okay. And we were like, my mom was married to in the city, like where we live right now, and my aunt used to live with my grandpa. And obviously we did not had any options, or we did not had any connection, so my aunt used to stay with my grandpa. And my aunt had like one son, and it was supposed to be given to him as per the rule. But my aunt was like, I only have one son and I do not want him to be involved in these certain things. And what happens is that what we say, or at least what my grandma used to say me, that whichever the entities or the energies my grandpa has dealt in the past, okay, when
mm,
he was young, when he was like all strong with energy and all his knowledge, he was controlling them. Because what happens is that these negative energies always have grudges over you because you have interrupted involving yourself in their kind of
mm,
activities. So when you get old, they wait years and years for you to become like less powerless, and then they would attack on you. And this was the thing that has happened with my grandpa. And then the moment my grandpa actually got older day by day, and he lost a grip over his powers, and he did not had anyone to actually deliver those knowledge, pass on that knowledge. And he got like paralyzed, and how this is how my grandma says. And then yeah, he had suffered a lot. And then the entire family of my aunt and my grandma, even after my grandpa passed out, they were suffering with lots of issues, health wise, on a day-to-day life.
mm,
And at the very end, they literally had to leave that house altogether and start a very new life, because that place itself got surrounded with such
mm.
negative energies
Contaminate.
fully. So these are like the stories that. And all of a sudden, I don't know, from past 4 or 5 days, I have this very inner feeling of talking about these. It's not very common, I'll tell you very honestly. I usually keep myself off from these kind of stories. But
Yes.
something, yeah,
Now I remember another one when I was very, very young. I had about 11 or 12 years old,
right,
and I was one day sleeping in one bed that it was inside of the bedroom of my sister. I had two sisters
right,
younger than me, and they were sleeping in their beds. Each
right,
one had one, and I was in the other one, but
exactly,
far from them, in the other side of the bed. And at the middle of the night, I was lay on my stomach
Right.
in my bed, and suddenly the mattress of
Mm-hmm.
my bed,
Right.
it goes down like someone was sitting
Exactly. Exactly.
near my feet.
Right.
And I thought, well, who is in my bed? And nothing. I didn't move. I was scared. I was 11, 12 years old. But
Exactly.
suddenly I heard that, that
Right. Right.
my very strong and very close to my face. And
Exactly.
it was so strong, so powerful that I tried tears start to
Yeah,
fall
right.
on my eyes, but I didn't move. I was
Like
completely
scared enough.
paralyzed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It
but
happens.
that was for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and that it was like looking at me very close, but
Right. Right.
said nothing. I didn't hear nothing, but only the breath and the weight on the mattress.
Right.
And after a while, 5, 6 minutes, I don't know, it disappeared. The next morning, I asked my sister, "Did you wake up
Right.
during the night?" "No, no, no." "And you?" "No, no, no. Nobody wake up."
Right. These are the stories, I had this one story, and it was more of my one of my seniors. One of my senior had this person knowing, so I never met this person like myself, but I could have relate to what he was saying. Like, so this guy had a very good powers and control over his energy, and he was also one of like a similar kind of thing that my grandpa used to do. And in his kind of journey, he never came across in any situation where he lost a certain thing. I mean, wherever he went to
Mhm,
help somebody, he was able to succeed in that certain cases. And he was a well
mhm,
known kind of a person in that particular city itself. So my grandpa was only used to manage things, or like deal things within a small village, right, where there are like very few number of people. But he was a very well known person, was as what my friend used to say. And what happened is that that person visited his family, my friend's family, once, as he says. And like he was very upset, and my friend says like my dad asked him that what happened, like why are you feeling so sad, why you see like seem so sad about, like what exactly happened. And he said that for the very first time in my life, I actually been defeated by somebody, and I was not able to help this family. So what happened is that a big businessman in one of the city, I'm not going to name it, uh, and from a big businessman of one of the cities, like absolutely coming from a very millionaire billionaires family, and they had like two very beautiful daughters, is what he said. Like two beautiful daughters were, how should I say, were possessed by a certain entity. Okay.
mhm,
And these were from like very rich family. And so he was called, and these two daughters were like at the age of 22, 23. And the way they were reacting means, it still like gives me goosebumps. Is like they started dancing naked in the middle of the night in front of the family. The level of the level of possession that they had.
mhm,
So he was called upon to check upon and to cure it. And he said that when he actually went on a conversation with that energy, okay, that why are you here, or like why are you doing this to the kids, why don't you leave them alone, and things like that. So he was simply told that, see, I am a kind of a energy, And even that still, makes me, because I have read about these things, that there are certain energies. If that thing has been, it's more like an example, take it an example, like if that thing has went out, like if the bullet has been went out from a gun, it cannot be put back, right? It will hit somebody, it will
Mm.
do its thing. So he is like, that energy is conversating with that person in a level like that, I have came here to take something, either these girls, or either I'll take somebody from your family. Now you have a choice, because you cannot do anything about it. And obviously this person who went there to take care of the, help these people, he also had a family. He can protect himself with by his powers, but obviously he cannot protect, he's not a superhuman, like he's not a superman, right? There are certain restrictions to it. So he cannot help these people from his family members. And he was like left with no other option but to leave that place. He was saying that while I was leaving the place, the the businessmen, actually like the mom and dad of their kids, they were ready to offer him their entire asset in return to
Mm.
save those two kids. But he was not able to do it because he never worked for, asset or things like materialistic things. He had a certain like kind of a responsibility. He wanted to help the society with his things and his knowledge. So he had just had to, came back, defeated, and then that was a kind of a situation. And yeah, I mean, that was something very interesting that I ever heard of, and I was like, okay, there are certain things. So it was more of like that.
Yes, I believe so. I don't think about that all day long or every day, but sometimes I think about it. Nothing in terms of uh, person, but I believe more in energy.
Yes, energy is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, there are forms of energy, good and bad. And
Mm,
yes,
yes.
you experience both the things. I mean,
Yeah, because energy you can feel. No?
yes, we can. Definitely, we can. I mean, when I visit like some or the normally, like I'm very much, I keep myself away from doctors, medicines, and hospitals. But if somebody in the known have got sick, and if I've take them to the hospitals, and there are certain areas in any hospital you would find them mostly where the dead bodies are kept. You would find those places very like a different kind of a energy altogether. You would always feel that.
Yes, but uh, independent, independently of those places, sometimes I can feel this in some people in person. Sometimes when you meet someone that you feel that the energy came from that person is not, it's not good, it's not okay. Although he or she is polite or everything is normal,
Exactly.
apparently, but you can feel, I don't say anything, but I can feel that it's uneasy.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
And I know that it's the energy.
It is. I'm sure I was not giving you that kind of a feeling today.
Huh?
I was like, I'm sure I'm not giving you that kind of a feeling today. Like, yeah, that
No,
negative.
no, no, no.
All right, Joe. Like, see, the 22 minutes have passed by just like this, and I didn't even got to know.
Yes. Hope we find
Oh, yeah,
each other again.
absolutely. Each other again. And it was really nice talking to you, Joe. As always, it was a pleasure
Yeah.
speaking to you. Take care.
Have a
Bye.
nice day. See you.
Thank you.